Muy buenas a todos, soy Mariatxi, bienvenidos a otro capítulo de este Kingdom Come Deliverance. Bueno, después de haber encontrado Panocha, creo que se llamaba, tenemos que ir a hablar con el capitán. Así que venga, pues vámonos a raudos y veloces. Vamos campo a través. Confiamos en nuestro caballo. Oh, qué bueno. Y una libre. Bueno, pues ahí que vamos a ir. Y vamos a irnos campo a través otra vez ahí. Uy, que me voy a encontrar árbol. Vamos a encontrar un pequeño. Decir que la línea recta es lo más rápido, pero o estoy muy lejos o no voy en línea recta. Mira, una gacela. Yo creo que son esas casas de ahí. Bueno, el capítulo anterior encontramos al chico este y nos dijo que había un tullido que estaba en un pueblo que estaba al norte, Uciel, creo que se llamaba. Así que vamos a ver si hablamos con nuestro jefe. Le damos la información, que está bien.
Need help? Good health to you.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around at Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. So Radzik will tell you about it. He said to send you to him if you haven't already been.
Y decir al capitán Megan, vale. Bueno.
Watch what you're doing. There's people. What the hell?
Vamos a informar al capitán de lo que hemos conseguido.
Greetings. What business have you?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life. And for good reason, too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujit with a limp.
And his name?
The boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Ujits, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Ujits then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Merhoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir. Why choose Mehoyed?
It's somewhat at the center of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
Bueno, he estado no haciendo la investigación, he ido por mi cuenta porque he estado jugando un poquito. No sabía que... Vamos a ver, espera. Primero a ver qué dice esto. Partida guardada, muy bien. La verdad que me he ido paseando por ahí, desbloqueando, porque creo que había un escriba, me parece que está por esa zona, porque me enseñaba a leer. Pero bueno, vamos a coger y vamos a ir arriba, vamos a investigar la zona. A ver qué es lo que nos pide. Encontrar al bandido. Así que... Vamos a ir ahí. Vamos a montarnos y vamos para allá. ¿Esto es camino? No. Es el campamento de los carboneros primeros que hemos estado. Vamos a pasar despacito, que el caballo recupere un poco el aliento. Vamos al trote. Galope, galope. Vamos a galope, Mariatxi, galope. ¿Que me he colado? Sí, me he colado. Bueno, no sé dónde está, por aquí arriba. Bajar un poquito el ritmo para que recupere el caballo. Bueno, pues parece que ya hemos llegado. Con lo cual habrá que preguntar. Vamos a hacer primero a la señora aquí a preguntar. A ver si dice algo.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
Aye, he lives here all right. The devil take him. In a cottage at the end of the village by the road to Neuhof.
Esto pasa por vivir en un pueblo. Se conocen todos. ¿Quién es el de la cojera? ¿El tullido? Pues solo hay uno. Fulanito. Ya está. Si es que no hay más. En fin. Pues nada, vamos a hacer una visitilla al tullido. Anda, están aquí de reunión.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Vaya, se lo han cargado. Wow.
Sacra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
La cosa se complica.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
Estaba.
He limped.
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
The parish priest here in Ujits, he's a peculiar sort of cleric. I noticed he's quite handy with a sword.
He is indeed. He's as hard as nails. More than once he's intervened in the brawl in the tavern and sat everyone on their asses. He's not to be taken lightly.
I doubt he acquired those skills at the seminary.
You know how it goes. The nobles send their youngest sons to study for the priesthood, and our parish priest has blue blood in him. He probably learned to fight at home before he went to university. That's how it goes with those aristocrats. But I heard something happened and he was roving the world for a while. Don't know what he got up to, though.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course, ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I haven't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
That's all. Thank you.
Vamos a ver. Bueno, pues vamos ahí donde nos pide. Me imagino que habrá que hablar con el sacerdote ese típico que todo el mundo habla que es muy mañoso con la espada.
Hey.
¿Y por qué me he bajado del caballo? Se cansan también, ¿eh? ¿Va a ser de un placaje? Aquí. ¿Qué? ¿Más? ¿Está? Bueno.
You showed him. Thank you. A thieving magpie. You can't trust anyone these days. And just so you know, I'm no pinch purse. Here's a small reward.
Thanks.
Y tan pequeña. Este tiene más, coño. Y lo robas, Hasta me. Para hacerme correr. ¿Y por qué? ¿Y por qué me han herido? ¿Qué he pinchado? No entiendo por qué me han herido un poco. Bueno, es igual. Bueno, vamos corriendo. No sé quién me ha quitado un poquito de vida. Ah, o sea, tú que es... Ah, vale, vale, tú hablas con todo el mundo. O sea, taberna, a ver, ¿esto qué es taberna? Vamos a hablar con el posadero. A ver si me dice algo.
Be a bit more careful.
God be with you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but to ask all you want.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself, even in the tavern.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even talking to the priest and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose no sin's too dark.
Sí, voy a tener que hablar con el sacerdote. ¿Ves?
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
That's all. Thank you. Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Nothing out of the ordinary, praise God.
Vamos a ver si pillamos al sacer. Esto es la iglesia, ¿no? Tiene pinta de estar por aquí, pues. Mira, ahí está. El espadachín. Coño, que me la clavo.
God be with you.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man's son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even worse than that.
Vaya.
Worse than the death of innocent Christians. Worse than the murderer escaping punishment.
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Encontrarse por la noche con el sacerdote de la parroquia en la taberna. Bueno, pues vamos a la taberna, ¿no? Igual con un poco de suerte lo emborrachamos o nos emborrachamos todos juntos y leamos una parda. Porque no ha dicho nada que no pueda haber. Bueno, pues ya que estamos aquí, vamos a pasar el tiempo. Espero no pasarme con el tiempo. Yo creo que si salto ahora se parará ya a las 9. Vamos a hacer a las 9 que tenemos tiempo para pasar una horita más. Tenemos tiempo. Ahí está el padre. Bueno, cumplido su palabra.
And with you, lad. Take a seat.
Vamos a sentarnos y a darle aquí al jarra a gusto. Mira qué simpática, qué baja.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first, I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning.
As you wish.
They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl.
Esto va a acabar con un pedo monumental, ya verás. Los dos abrazados llorando.
I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Townburg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovner. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanush to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
Just as you ordered.
If I tell you what Lubos told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujic is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. Tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth. And they shamelessly profit from
Que se viene arriba el cura.
You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive fur. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Joder, es el mal que me he pegado.
This Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Vamos a ver.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
Tanto trabajar.
You wouldn't let me down.
Bebida, mira que bien. Ahora salen los dos agarrados ahí del brazo. Mira cómo lo están pasando tú. Esto no va a acabar bien. Ahí va que se viene arriba, todo el curillo. Un pulso, una pelea. Exaltación de la amistad. Bueno, las típicas fases del pedo. Una noche larga. Una noche.
Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us. Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone. So what? So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out. Oh.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Este. Va a la pelea. Anda, vamos a de tortas, Para estar pedete. Ya pegamos, Ahí va, que le meto al. Ahí va, que viene otro. A este mucho no le queda. Uy, va. Ah, pues ya está.
I'd love to. And Henry too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dear. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Nos hemos emborrachado. Nos hemos tenido una pelea. Y ahora tiene pinta de que vamos a liar una pequeña.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
A despertar todos ahí.
This is wonderful.
Bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
No tengo ninguna. En fin.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here.
Me cachis, tú. La que se ha liado. ¡Ya cura!
Has mounted up. What do you say, Henry?
Me cachis.
Take a little ride of our own.
Ya me río, que cada felicidad. Bueno, bueno. Ay, no sé si tengo, creo que no tengo pócima para resaca.
Well, I have to say that was fine.
Creo que tenemos un nuevo amigo en la ciudad. ¿Qué pasa? Bueno.
Godwin, you beast. Get up. Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards.
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh. What was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten? Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Bueno. Bacanal de vida.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
Well, all right. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Bueno, Bueno, pues muy bien, vamos a dejarlo aquí después de una noche loca, loquísima con el sacerdote del pueblo. El día no va a ser mucho peor. Vamos a dedicarnos a dar un sermón, pero será en el próximo capítulo. Ya sabéis, un buen like, un buen comentario, alguna suscripción. Sed buenos. Nos vemos.